Okay. Your phone, Andrew, teacher to landscape again. I'm going to keep this on there. Try it again. Do you have it on landscape?
Are you talking to me, Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What you'll do is stop it again.
There it
Okay.
goes.
Now your portrait again. Your selfie mode. I'm sorry.
So
All right,
now
one more
can
time. There you go.
there we go.
That'll be a good blooper
So
reel.
Looking good.
I had to get connected to the internet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Of course, yes, it is me, Scott, along with two other wonderful people here. That's right, Mr. Christoper Webb. And Andrew, is it Downey Drew? Am I pronouncing your last name correct?
It's Doundrey.
Yeah, okay. How about we
Yeah.
we just say, do you prefer Drew or Andrew?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, everyone here that's watching this video right now, I've actually, let's put it this way, Chris and Andrew, they've been following me here on this channel for quite a while. And some of you, at least let's say 100 plus of you, have gotten quite used to Chris's face here lately. And back when 2018, I was actually speaking with Andrew over the phone. He was sharing his thoughts, if I remember correctly, reviews when Halloween 2018 came out. Does that seem about right, Drew?
100% right.
Yeah. So I thought, you know what? I've got something on my mind, and I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I got to get these two guys on here. But before I talk about this and ask them, I'm just going to do something simple real quick. Andrew, since this is the first time you have been on this video thing, I don't know what you're technically supposed to call them today, a podcast or just a damn video. I want to call it just a damn video.
Right.
Hey, Andrew, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I am a real estate agent here in the city I live in, and I sell real estate to people all over the country, whether it be commercial or residential. But although we've met back before that, and we're just a big fan of the horror genre and the Myers genre in general. So that's kind of how you and I connected from my goodness, it's been probably 2016 or so, when we started talking, maybe 15.
Time, as I think we can all agree, is going by so fast, so
Right.
Obviously when I first connected with you, you were really talking a lot about, or you at least described to me, your enjoyment of Star Wars and your memorabilia and all that was Star Wars and what you described. And I can't help but notice behind your left shoulder you got that's Darth Vader back there, right?
It is. It is.
I mean, come on, that's the icon of Star Wars. I don't know, that's pretty
right.
cool.
I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, I guess you could say.
I would say, yeah, I think a lot of us have a lot of Star Wars fandom inside of us and all that. And of course, this is the first time I've actually had a chance to have Chris and Andrew obviously here. And I always thought these two, if I were to introduce you guys, like if we were hanging out, like having, like say a Halloween party, I feel like if I introduced you in 5 minutes, you guys would click. It's not just because of the Halloween franchise, it's just your personalities and really what I felt like having conversations with you guys one-on-one. Seems like you guys, I don't know, would have a lot in common, personality-wise and everything else. Not that I'm trying to hook you guys up or anything like that, but I'm just saying,
Matchmaker.
Yeah. And of course, Chris, I know you've been on here. To be fair, I don't think I've ever asked, a little bit about yourself. I mean, it's quite obvious you're a fan of the franchise. We could all see that. We know that. But if you don't mind sharing a little bit about what goes on in your daily life, please fire away.
I kind of just hang off the side of buildings. I install lightning protection for a living, if you want to call it that. Man, a whole bunch of construction, just lots of heavy lifting up and down stairs, just boring stuff, you know. And then, you know, dad, father, all the other good stuff that comes with that.
Yeah, that's what you and Andrew have in common. Both of you are father of daughters. So the both of you have your hands full there.
We are the fathers.
Absolutely. That's the warrior right there.
I mean, I just have a son, so I'm lucky there. So, I mean, no offense, but I just imagine having a 27-year-old son is a lot easier to deal with than 2 daughters. I don't know. I would just be going nuts with guys. Boys, I should say, boys their age. I don't know how you two handle it.
I don't either.
I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I got guns.
Intimidation.
Intimidation. Yeah, intimidation. I'm going to ask a really silly question, Andrew.
Sure.
What's the last Halloween film you've seen?
When?
Yeah, what's the last Halloween film you've seen?
Well, I got the original playing behind me. Probably ends with the full one I saw all the way through.
So, I mean, Chris, we pretty much had a conversation about that one that came out in the theater a few weeks ago.
Sure did.
Yeah, and Andrew, I'm sure you, of course. Basically, what I'm trying to get to is the internet has bombarded with how the fans in general have felt about this last film. It isn't pretty, and I'm sure you guys have seen this as well from YouTube. I've heard from TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I hear TikTok. There's Rating and Raven there. Twitch, you name it. Fans are just still, as if this movie was real, are just outraged with that film. And a part of me is like, okay, I get it, but there's another part of me that's like, okay, life goes on. But I still, as a fan, can't help but think, if I had any control over this film, like every damn fan, if only I had written the story, the script. So I was thinking a lot about that today, like I've had this past couple weeks, and I thought, you know what, that's something I got to ask you two guys. And I'm going to be, obviously honest here on video. I've hinted this towards Chris and Andrew earlier. And Drew, since this is the first time you're on here with us, I'm going to put the pressure on you and ask if you, and I want you to keep in mind too, this is your script. This is the right way and the right way only. It doesn't matter what the rest of us think, because you have every damn right to say, you know what, this is what I would do if I had the responsibility of how I wins, and this is how I would write. Now, it's your choice, whether it's just one scene or the whole entire thing. So this is where I shut up, and Andrew, take it away.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember someone telling me, and it is hearsay, so I don't have factual information to prove it, but however, I did hear it, that in the contract that Mr. Akkad originally wrote, that he was never to kill Michael Myers.
I love Michael Myers. To me, everybody hates him, but I am going to keep him alive as long as I can.
So for me, the last movie,
True.
They really pushed that information to try to stretch his spirit, as Laurie tells it through the story, that, and it's just passed on. So it just felt like that too, for me, unbelievable that Michael Myers could come, or Corey could come in and rough up Michael and take his mask and do everything, and just all that to take place. I just don't see that happening, but that's just my take on it. But however, in spots it was entertaining. So, the very ending with him and Laurie, very entertaining. I enjoyed it. But there were parts of it that were quite messy in parts for me. So I don't know how, Chris, you feel about it, or Scott, but that was just my opinion on it. And that's my true, you're getting my true opinion on it before I even heard you guys speak last week. So I think my phone is lagging quite a bit, but
it is.
I think it should have been passed. Go ahead.
Sorry, Andrew. I'm interrupting you.
No, you're good. You're good. It's not a big deal at all. I just think it should have been passed down to in a certain way. I mean, if they were going to show how she cut him in the last in Kills and how it wounded him, and you kind of felt like something was to that at the end of they made that a point in Kills to show that, or even at the end of Halloween, the original in 2018. So I don't know. I just found it. I found it awkward in spots. I would have taken the whole Corey Cunningham out of it. I would have passed it down to Allison probably. So that would have been my take on it. She's part of the family, in my opinion, in a way.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. And I'm going to pass this on to Chris now, and I'm going to allow him. You know, we've shared your feelings, you know, quite true to what you described on, you know, basically the film itself, how you feel about it. Sure. You know, in a previous, the 2 days, the 16th. And like I stated earlier, I felt like I was kind of rambling on way too much, but I would love to hear Chris's perspective as well on, you know what, I've already asked Chris, you know exactly what I'm getting at. What would you do?
I think I've been kind of all over the spectrum here, just back and forth, positive, negative, and kind of where I land nowadays. I think maybe just getting rid of the whole transference of evil, the evil thing, you know, just scrapping that. He obviously wanted to tell a story, you know, he wanted to get closer to paying homage to like Christine and all that. Like he could still have that in a way without this whole transference of evil thing. I think that's where it kind of lost me at. So say Michael disappeared for the 4 years, right?
Yeah.
That happened. That's done. Whatever. Corey goes through whatever he goes through and he starts going down a dark path. The whole town is turned on him, right? But we still have these kills that are kind of happening in the background. Say we take it to where back to maybe stalking or something like that. Nobody knows exactly where the deaths are coming from. Nobody's seen Michael in 4 years, but we got this kid that killed another kid 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the town starts to collapse on him a little bit. Maybe we get rid of the whole, you know, Michael and Corey ever meeting up. And then we just kind of go back to the original with the whole stalking. And then we eventually, he can still have his confrontation. He can even turn Michael into Hamburger again if he wants to. But, you know, I think it's just the transference of evil and the whole interaction between the two that I would get rid of. I think I'd have him stand alone, Corey stand alone, Michael stand alone, and Michael's just doing his things in the shadow, and this kid's getting blamed for it the whole time until he eventually tries to murder Lori or something like that. And then maybe Michael comes, I don't know. I don't know that fact. I haven't got that far, but I was just thinking, you know, getting rid of the parts that I hate is definitely that transference of evil thing. It loses the mystique for Michael for me.
Yeah.
Gives him feeling, you know, when he did his little shiver when he killed somebody for the first time after 4 years, which I still don't get, but just all those little things. And if I'm being honest, I didn't have a problem with the dialogue in this movie. I could get around it, which was the first one out of all three of them that I was okay with. But I'd still rather watch 2018, if I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of all over the place. But if I had to do anything, that's what I would do.
I mean, honestly, guys, that's why, honestly, I would, if I could talk with those guys, whether it be Danny McBride or Josh Horowitz or whoever it may be that did the movie, that's one question I'd ask them. Where did that idea come from? Why do you think that Michael Myers fans would enjoy that part of the movie?
How many writers was it? Was it 4 or 5?
I'm sorry?
4.
4 writers. A lot.
Yeah. No, I apologize. I was just going to say you could tell it was kind of scatterbrainish because it was all over the place.
The sad thing of it is when they did roll the credits, obviously after, the 2019, and then when it just stuck to me like that. I mean, we only watched 25 minutes of trailers. Finally, like I said, the Universal, then you get some soundtrack from, a song from back in the day, which kind of, that right then and there, I'm like, where's John Carpenter's? Why are we going to, let's pay $50,000 for a song, you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sitting in my seat, a comfortable chair a mile up the road, and then that I'm like, I just had this gut feeling like something ain't right. And why was my gut right the whole damn time I was sitting there? Before I share my thoughts, I want to make sure I don't interrupt either one of you. Is there anything else that you could think of right now before I start rambling on?
I'm sure you'll invoke a few things.
I'm trying to forget, and you'll probably make me remember.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try my best to at least go here, and then I could stop and ask you what you think from just. Okay, I'll get to it. Halloween ends. Get rid of the whole Corey thing. Get rid of the 2019 thing. Let's start off where Kills ends, because I think, as you could both agree, yes, we got just a tiny bit of just hearing, I believe it was Lori or whoever talking about, and they were just showing something in the paper about how they destroyed the Myers house, but we really didn't see it. We got just little bits and pieces of information, but yet the holes are still like this friggin' big, and they're only filling it in about that much.
Sure.
Why in the hell? I mean, the story was, as far as I'm concerned, what I've been thinking, as these wheels are in motion, I'm like, you have ends written already from Kills alone and 18. Start off where it ends. The people show us that. They're pissed. Michael already beat the shit out of half the town in Haddonfield. There's still more people there. They're enraged. Obviously, at the end, one version, we see Lori leaving the house, where she puts her super, whatever, and walks out. She's obviously heading in one direction. She gets enough information from all the people shout, because every once in a while when they're done, screaming "Evil dies tonight," I'm sure she heard in the corner, "Oh, they're all going over to the Myers house," something like that. But she generally heads over in that direction. And when she sees that they've destroyed the house, like it's on fire, the town is under assumption, because they've seen Michael, they know what was going on. He's in the house. The house is in flames or whatever. I know, but I'm trying my best to hurry this up. Of course, Michael escapes. Now, what is the one thing in Kills that they showed that they were kind of giving us fans is, why are they looking at that tower? What is it with this damn tower?
You know how many speculations were behind that?
Thank you for bringing up speculations. I'm glad you brought that up, Chris.
And why do you CGI that in? What? Yeah. Scratching my head the whole time.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, as Myers obviously in Kills, and the flashbacks was what? That's when in Kills, we're going to show respect. We're going to show some love to the fans. Let's do a flashback scene, and I think we all can agree they did a hell of a job with that. It was like, wow, they really did a great job with the house, and it was like, oh, finally.
Right.
And I obviously Michael has this obsession, like they were showing some backstory, just a little bit, what we didn't get to see in 78. But there's Michael staring out his sister's window. What is it? And obviously when the one cop talked about when they're in that alley, that reminds us a lot of H2, a little bit of backstory, which I was kind of aggravated. I'm like, I don't need to hear the backstory.
Yeah.
But now I started thinking in my mind, okay, it's important for ends, because maybe Michael in this stupid tower, he leaves the house. The people think he's gone. They obviously have bodies in there. Karen's body, because Michael, as we know, in his sister's old room. And of course, got two other bodies in there, obviously. Help me on names. I just got a brain fart.
Oh.
Lonnie, or not. Lonnie.
Lonnie and, what's his name?
His son's, yeah.
His son?
Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron, which I liked him more in Kills. So, there's confusion. And like you said, Chris, speculations. Since really, I want to say 2021, I've been hearing so much speculations on the real world we live in with real tragic events. Like last year, we had the whole ordeal with Gabby Bettino and Brian Laundrie. I was watching that shit like crazy when I was doing these rehauls, right? My living room was like an assembly line of kills masks out there. I was watching, going down that rabbit hole. There was so many speculations on where's Brian Laundrie. So people were saying that his parents dug a trench in the backyards. I mean, there was all kinds of crazy shit that was going on. And then here recently, they found the SOB that was responsible for taking the 2 girls' lives, in Delphi, Indiana. There's just all this the shit that's been going on in the real world. How they could have taken what goes on today with the internet, with social media. Since they kept on saying 2018, what was going on in the real world then kind of reflected in the film. And then of course kills. They could have done the same thing with this. They could have people on social media give up some fake names instead of YouTube, UsTube. People are trying to say, well, they spotted Michael here, they spotted Michael, whatever. What I'm trying to get at the ends, finally, when the house is coming down, they think Michael's in there. Speculations. They got body counts. If we think back to H2, because it was Ben Tramer. Granted, we have more advanced technology, but still, speculations. They want Michael to be dead, but they never technically find the body. But we got to rush things up because we got to move into the storyline. Michael escapes, as we all know, but he's heading towards that damn tower. And they kind of show him, in other words, there's people that they, like what we were supposed to see in the first film. He was the boogeyman, going behind the shrubs. There he is, he disappears. You know what I mean? When Laurie looks down in the famous scene with those blanket sheets, there he is, and then he's gone. He comes, he's playing tricks, he's all this shit. They did that in the flashbacks. They should have done that. People thought they seen Michael leave that house, but they only seen glimpses of him. So we get to a place where this tower's at, and it's like this, I want to say like a shack, or there's a building that has something to do with it. But I know this sounds kind of silly, but we got to get him from point A to B. So it gets to B, and here's what in my mind started thinking, a visual thing. You kind of see him in this going to the shack, and then when they show him, and I'm trying to figure out how do we do this if I was directing it.
Yeah.
But one of our favorite scenes in 1978, of course, is when Laurie's up against the door frame. And then when they capture that image slowly come in of the shape. When I was a little boy, that frightened the holy shit out of me.
Chase scene? Or
I'm sorry?
The chase scene from house to house, or was it?
Well, yeah, of course that did too. But no, inside the house.
Oh no, where you stands at?
Where the face just comes in, dims in. Mm-hmm. In my mind, as I'm thinking about this shit, he's inside there, and because he is exhausted after what he'd been through in kills, but he's inside, he's hiding. He's still a boogeyman. But in other words, I'm trying to capture. We've seen so many Easter eggs from other films in this trilogy, but I would have loved it if they tried to do something like that, where you see this mask, a silhouette of it or something, where it fades away into darkness, and then you go into credits. Get rid of the whole Corey shit. Let's find why Michael leaves the house, why the house is being destroyed. In fact, I thought about something else. We have Laurie, we have Michael, but why couldn't we have Laurie kind of look up at the Myers house? And here it is being up in flames, and now she's feeling some injustice being done. They had that shit right there in Kills. They could have used it before they actually got out of that studio, but no. Those 4 dumbass writers had to come up with something completely different to piss us off because they wanted to step outside the box. So, does my idea sound too Marvel-ish, like it's the MCU, or am I just like every other fan, wishing upon a star that they've done something else? That's the direction I was kind of get at, by the way. Okay, now I'll shut up.
No, I feel like that'd be more cohesive for sure. That would at least tie in, and then they could do their time jump. They could do whatever they wanted after that. I'm
sorry, it just wasn't good writing. It was plain as day. I hate to say it, and it was just not.
It got lazy. It did. It got lazy, and there's no sense in that. You got 4 people that was writing. What happened there? Oh, I think I know what happened.
Too many.
Maybe 2 of them had an idea that was good, and their boss is like, "No, we don't want that."
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but something tells me we've seen this happen before, not once, not twice, and I felt like it happened here.
It was another Last Jedi, unfortunately.
A lot of people are feeling that way, that are Star Wars fans. They've connected that too.
Well, it's just a divide in the lore of Myers. It's not who he is. It's not what he typically does. He didn't let somebody earlier come in and punk him and steal his mask and just stay down there, and he meant it transfer evil, it kind of was almost like an imprint. He got imprinted, I felt like, and they kept pushing that idea throughout the movie to continue a movie. I saw an interview with Andy Matichek the other day where they asked her, and she really couldn't answer the question if they were going to continue it. She just said she couldn't say right now. So we'll see.
Horrible. I hate that scene so much. That and the mask stealing scene. I hate both of them so much.
Yeah,
just completely took all his power, all his mystique, everything away from him. He lost everything right there.
And
he just sits up and he looks, and that's it.
Have you guys seen images of what Christopher Nelson? Basically, he fixed up James Shoot. Have you guys seen those images?
Yeah.
If I'll put it on here, well, I think you guys get what I mean, but I'll put it on here to show everyone if they haven't seen it. Wow. I just looking. Have you seen those, Andrew? The photos of James Courtney, what he would look like unmasked?
Yes, I did see those photos. Yes.
Very impressive, of course. I have
Christopher Nelson. Amazing job.
Yes. I applaud him on all three films.
Yep.
World class.
Yep.
James Courtney, I think we could all agree.
Did a great job.
Yeah.
100%.
I can't blame him for somebody left to comment on one of the videos. I know, like, when Chris and I were doing the live, somebody in live chat said 8 minutes, and somebody here recently gave an update. It was basically 9 minutes. 9 minutes of a cameo of Michael Myers in Halloween Ends. And why is Opie Cunningham getting better kills? No offense against the actor. He did a fine job. I have nothing against him personally. I don't, because it's just I told him it's a movie. These are real people, right. Hell, if I was going to have Corey Cunningham in it, I like calling him Opie Cunningham. Don't make him a bad guy. Get away with it. Right. That's Allison's love interest.
That's where I wanted to be with it. Just some kid that was misunderstood, and then, maybe the whole town. But I get tired of the whole, because he likes to step back. David Gordon Green, he likes to step back so much and look at how the community affects things. And I really get kind of tired of it, the whole mob mentality and everything. Mm-hmm. It's just like, concentrate on one story and just be streamlined. Just, you worried about everybody, it just gets a little bit too much. But yeah, thinking about that, like maybe the town just eventually just weighs on him so much that he just starts going down this dark path, and then eventually runs into Myers.
Yeah,
it's anything but what we got, basically. That's where I'm at.
I got something else that you talking about that, but before I do, Drew I'm trying my best to make sure that I don't interrupt you guys and, overstep, like what Chris was just saying. Andrew, did that give you any other thoughts about what Chris was saying there? Because that does lead up a very good point, too. I feel the same way about the whole mob thing. We had too much of that shit in 2020.
It was a little overdone. I mean, the writing could have been streamlined. That's what was frustrating, is that there were so many good people on the project. They've done amazing things, I think, with Cobra Kai and some other things, and it was just frustrating. As Cobra Kai's gone on, I've kind of lost interest in it too. So it's just kind of one of those things. I feel like it got kind of lazy and unexpected, or expected, I should say. They just expected the box office to bring the money, and
when they got it,
wasn't a fan.
They got
it. The trailers they released, they knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. There's no other way to cut it.
Halloween Ends is Peacock's most watched premiere ever. Bad reviews and franchise low cinema scores can't kill the boogeyman. But Opie Cunningham apparently could. Universal reports Halloween Ends is the most watched film or series ever on Peacock, over a 2-day period according to deadlines. I can figure that out. Can you guys? I mean, it makes sense to me why people were
Maybe
dying.
everybody wanted to see how bad it was. Like, it can't be that bad. Let's watch it.
Exactly. All of it. Guilty as charged. Okay, I got to see. Was there something that I missed? As they say, the reviews, whoa, pivoting. It's just they're not doing as well at the Blockbuster, but it's doing well in Peacock.
Well, good for Peacock. And I will say about Peacock, they need to get their streaming service fixed. I think again, as we always state, you can't blame the actors. You can't, and you can't blame, but you can blame the writing and who's in charge of what they're producing and putting out there. That's where the blame lies. Because I love all the characters and I love their acting and they work hard, and I don't want to take anything away from them. But on the flip side of the coin, I just think the story could have been told so much more amazing. I mean, if you reference, like I did earlier, to The Last Jedi, that movie could have been amazing. Where they could have just made it where she meets him on the hill. That's where they left us, on a cliffhanger, and then they brought us back to Earth when he just tossed his saber over his shoulder. So in my opinion, they did the same thing. Ends personally. It's so divisive in this day and age, and it's so frustrating. So yes. I don't understand. Have to go to that level to make things so divisive to the fandom. Again, that's just my opinion on it, and it's just an opinion. So, I don't want anybody to get their panties in a wad about it. But, I just was expecting so much from these films that we were raised up on. And when you take that baton and you go with it, you got to make sure that you're ready and prepared for the beginning, the middle, and the end. And the beginning was there somewhat. The middle, the kill scenes were cool. Even the kill scene that ends with the blowtorch, that was pretty intense.
That was pretty great.
Yeah, I will say that was pretty cool and an intense scene. Those were some positives from it, but it just seemed like it just all over the place, especially when we got to the very last film. And I don't know who made it that way, but it could have been done so much better, unfortunately. But kudos to the actors. They did an amazing job acting. They made it believable in a way, but it's just the story shouldn't have gone there in a way, in my opinion.
Do you feel like he kind of painted himself into a corner where he kind of felt like he was going down the predictable path and then just said, let's fucking not do that. Let's go nuts here. Let's do it. We're doing it the last time. Let's just fucking have fun with it. You feel like you feel like he said that at all?
Who's he?
David Gordon Green. Well, really his whole team.
Yeah, his whole team. Yeah. It's a tough cookie or even a nut to crack on that, because I mean, in my opinion, they should have just made it a slaughter, in my opinion, and they should have had the whole team, the whole town bring him down. That would have been better for me than to see all this imprinting and everything. And even if they strung him out, hung him, or cut his head off, whatever, that would have been more satisfactory than just giving some power to some kid, let him bitch slap him, knock him down, take his mask, go on a killing spree, not even be Michael. It's just weird, and it just seemed off-put. I didn't get it, and I can't, like I said, take anything away from the actors. They're just acting out a script that they're given, but the writing should have, that's where it's held accountable in the production of it, and the directors of it, and writers. So it is what it is. We're stuck with it forever, unfortunately. It's not like we're going to be able to take it away or drop it from canon, because they don't do that. But we'll see how it goes. I don't think it's over. I'm sure we'll see some form of it later, eventually.
Yeah,
hopefully.
He's Batman at this point.
Right.
Another iteration.
Right.
I just feel like he was doing the paint by numbers, and he just got himself into a corner and didn't know where the hell to go.
Yeah, it just would have been better to have him go down just, something like the last season of episode 3 of the Game of Thrones, where it was just so...
Oh my God!
Stop for an hour and a half is what we should have had. You know what I mean? Where it's just craziness. That would have been more entertainable for me, to see an out of control Myers and the town down. It's a simple plot, easy story, more fun for the viewer to watch rather than some Mickey Mouse story that he gets imprinted with his, and then the kill makes him stronger. I mean, I've just never seen anything like that. It was strange.
Yeah. Rather see a rage than die with a whimper, right?
Right, right. Well, and it's frustrating too, because you go to the movies, like you said earlier, you know, you want to take your kid to a movie and enjoy yourself. Your expectations are, you know, you try not to get so high and excited about it, and you don't watch trailers, and you try to stay as far away from it. And it just seems like all that effort, just you get deflated when you watch a story like you watch, and you're like,
why did I shit on us?
Why did I do so much of this stuff?
Steaming dump right on us.
Yeah, I mean, Chris and I, we made it a pact. We weren't going to watch the trailers. Drew, did you watch any trailers of this film before it was released?
Fortunately, I saw a few. I tried to steer clear of them, but I did see a few, and they were just cut scenes from kind of the end where he's tossing Lori around. And, you know, anytime it was on, I'd try to change it. But I did see those, and I thought, oh, it's going to be good. You know, here we go. It's the end, you know. And, you know, I thought maybe they might both die at the end, you know. That might be more scary than what we got. The new Ends mask, how have you enjoyed rehauling it?
I could go get it to show you what it looks like right now. As I do that, Chris has a copy of one. It looks, I'll show you.
I knew you'd have to go check it.
And you know, have you seen the pictures that Christopher Nelson put on Instagram of that mask?
I'm sure I have.
I mean, that mask. I hope I don't get no copyright stuff or anything, but like, that mask is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, amazing. I wish we could have gotten a better look.
I just took the hair off of it and started cleaning it. That's it.
Well, I'll be interested to see your thoughts, because I know that you'd mentioned it in one of your last videos about how detailed it was, and you know, how you're going to enjoy painting it because it has a little more detail and it's a little bit bigger, which, you know, you mentioned rehauling it. I think you would like, and plus that it's a little bit bigger. I think you mentioned it was what, a 24 and a half?
It is bigger.
So
it's definitely bigger.
That's what she said.
My face obviously is not as thin as it used to be. I mean, I don't have like this, you know, hey face, but it's, I mean, if I do this,
it's got that,
and it comes off that easily, that ought to tell you. So yes, it's if I put a kills on, it'd be like stuck to my face. Andrew, when did you start collecting masks? Michael Myers masks?
Well, it probably had to do with you, obviously, from your original. I mean, like some of your earlier videos. You know what I mean? We've had
back
discussions
when people liked my stuff. Yeah,
good. But I just remember that's how initially we met, and so that's kind of, you know, we discussed that on links, and you know, I've bought some throughout the years, and bought them from many independent mask makers, which, you know, as well as I do, there's some great ones out there.
Yeah, there is. There's no doubt about that. I know you and I have talked very proudly, like with the Cemetery Gate Productions. Terry, I didn't butcher it if you're watching. You notice I said Gate, not Gates.
Yeah, Terry's a good guy. I like Terry a lot.
Chris, when did you start collecting?
Since I can remember, as far as like tots and, you know, maybe even like a Don Post or something like that, like way back. But independent artists, I guess I started getting really involved in that maybe like 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Right around there. I didn't know for the longest time that there was anything out there like that.
Yeah.
So I started doing some investigating, you know.
And that's where I will definitely give, like, say, Facebook positive. And, you know, in general, people get the idea that I'm not a big Facebook person, but to give it a positive note, that's, you could find, if you're looking, as popular as it is, because people have asked me, I'm like, go to Facebook. And obviously, Andrew, as you can see in Chris's background, so I want to ask, because I don't think I asked you this before, Chris, what would you, out of all of yours, put aside that one you won recently, please. But out of all of them, what would you consider to be your favorite one? Is there still one that's like, yeah, this is still my favorite one?
Jeez.
Tough question, but
that's very hard.
But I think it's the first time I asked you that.
I don't know. That's very difficult.
Wow.
I don't know.
From a person that's looking at it through a webcam, but I want to say, if I were to, man, it is tough because I could change my mind in 5 minutes. If I were to go in the middle, and
oh man,
the middle on the second shelf in the middle, for some reason I look at that one. Yeah, that one. I'm looking at that one and go, if I had to, that one's catching my eye. But that's just, from this, not that the rest of them, I could be there in person and go, well, wait a minute, there's something about this one.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know, Andrew, you obviously, so you have a collection. To me, it's not about how many, but how's your collection? And is there any of them that you could honestly say that's really like, yeah, I'm really proud of this one?
Well, as we've discussed, one thing that I wanted to add, what you'd mentioned earlier, you asked me when I started, and you and I have had that discussion many a times about being younger, and seeing the Dawn Post masks when we were kids, and seeing different periods that they came out, and through Spencer's Gifts and such, that we saw those particular ones that were, I remember back in the day where I was pretty impressed by, so I did want to add that. You'd asked me when it started for me, and it was actually at a younger age. You and I have discussed that.
Yeah.
And, you just kind of helped ignite that fuel that was always that, I wanted to find those masks, but, as I discussed to you many years ago, I didn't know what the avenue was, and you kind of opened that door. So
it seemed like for me, when it came to the independent artists, fast forward to that, because when I was a kid, I was just trying to get anything I could in sight. Naturally trying to find Michael Myers masks, when I was a little kid, and they were always. But anyways, fast forwarding, I want to say 2013, I came across Nick Malpagano on Facebook. The rabbit hole began from there, but to give credit where credit was due, Nick Malpagano seemed to have this more of a infatuation of promoting his stuff, and which got my attention. And this is nothing against the others. Maybe it's just because I came across him first and didn't necessarily see the others, but there's just something about his personality or whatever, and it just made me feel like, wow. And yeah, I remember that quite well. I'm glad my son has he's got my very first one from Nick Malpagano. It's in his room. Every once in a while I go pick him up, I go over look at it. Zach, you got to dust that off. But I told myself the very first independent Myers mask I was going to get, and ironically, Zach it's the room next to me. My first Warlock is sitting on a bust that I made for Zach in his room. So I got a Warlock the next wall over, and the up in Piqua. Well, where that's at, Chris. It's about 40 minutes north of here. So, and the rest is pretty much behind me. And ironically, as we all know, I have so much love for Tots, but I have fun working on them. I mean, granted, I would love to get my hands on some nice latex, if you know what I mean, because that would be enjoyable to work on. But I figured the way I was taught, you're going to learn how to drive a manual transmission. And if you could drive a stick shift manual transmission, then you could drive an automatic. Well, that's how I look at the Tots. And I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but if I could figure out how to do those and learn from others and teach myself and feel proud of it, then yeah, let's bring on the other stuff.
That's got me through a lot of years. That's all I collected for a while, I mean, they served their purpose. 75K?
Oh, I'm back here.
Yeah. Is that still your favorite?
It still has a special place in my heart. It does. But there's something about that cover mask. I don't know what it is right there there's just something about it. Sometimes it just, the way it's sculpted or something, sometimes the way it captures the light, I look at that and go, damn. You know what I mean? We have a certain one that's just like, it's so funny when I look at it, or there's a flat light on it during the daytime, you don't really see the sculpt. Even right now with the faded, I don't know, there's just something about it. But the funny thing of it is, my blood tears warlock down there, and I know you guys can't really see what I'm trying to point out, but there's something about that. I like how it pops more than my regular warlock that's in the next room. There's just something about it. And that's what's so damn fascinating about these white masks. You guys know what I'm talking about.
People ask me all the time, like, aren't they all the same? People ask me that all the time. I'm like, oh. No, you just got to see certain things, apparently.
Yeah. And every Meyer fan, and that's what amazes me, knows it, gets it. You know, that's why we love seeing photos about other masks. We always appreciate someone else's collection and jealous at the same time and get it. You know, you explain just a little bit about something like when I'm talking about that cover mask, and you guys get it. It's amazing. There's people out there that absolutely love the H6, and I get it. But for me,
do I?
The H1, the other ones are still trying to keep up.
What's the one second from the top there on your glass case?
That is the Castle, 75K Castle.
Yeah.
And that's Chris Morgan's?
Yeah.
Okay.
The George P. Wilbur. Got the blue light on it.
And the H6.
Such a vicious mask. You know?
What's that?
Such a vicious mask to me. I love it.
This is Terry's. And this is his H6. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's going to fall.
It's the Damned, right?
Yeah. I actually have a mannequin head inside there. That's
see it.
Part Linda Blair. So there you go. Since we got, I'm just not pumped about this Exorcist thing, but yeah, a mannequin head looks kind of. It's heavy too.
See that the H6 just holds a special place for me.
Black latex.
That's kind of cool.
And and this is Chris Morgan's obviously is known for his H6. There's no doubt about it. But I'm really surprised that you don't see more of Terry's. You know what I mean?
Like you even said in one of your older videos, that H4 that he makes is pretty impressive as well.
Andy, you got a Sandman Warlock? See,
yes.
I don't know what it is about the blood tears. I just love this thing.
Yeah, I love it too.
It's like a baby.
H2's down.
All right, back into it. So yeah, that one.
I would really like to see that one. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's something special about this one for me, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
That side right there.
It's pretty impressive.
You son of a bitch. Why am I saying that? I only can't.
Hey, Scott, show me your Kirk conversion.
You what?
Your Kirk conversion. Is it too much of a pain to pull it off your head?
Not everybody's gonna see. I already did a video on that. Never mind. My secret.
And I really like that. God, it's good looking.
I wish the light wasn't so bright right now.
I know, but
It sounded
it's
so stupid. I wish the light was See that one right there? Sorry. The one that Chris has just sat. I'm sorry. The one he sat down. That was awesome. What is that one right there that's looking at us now, Chris?
I had to actually get this one after your raffle.
Okay.
This is a Shape 78.
That does look phenomenal. That really does.
No, it's a nag, and then Freddie Loper finished it.
Okay, yeah, that looks phenomenal. You just gotta love the guys that we have been noticing here. Nick Mopagena, Terry, Jim Falco, Jim, Morgan, Nag Mass, all of them. It blows me away how talented these guys are. And I'm sorry, I'm missing others too.
Nick
Randy.
doing his thing, man. Nick really upped his game on his finishing as well. Like that's a 78 PS 78.
Yeah, you challenge yourself. You know what I got. If there's something you enjoy, you want to get better and better at it. Something happened to your camera.
Oh, he's peeking.
Something happened to your camera, Drew. You've got a new collection I see there. Finally, Andrew's showing us his collection, being selfish about it.
Sneaky.
Yeah. I've heard you talk. I was kind of hoping. It doesn't matter. We're here now. Your Sandman. Can you? I wanted to see your Sandman a little bit more up close.
Honestly, like I always state, and I've told him himself. I tell Terry, like, I don't know how you haired it, but you did an amazing job hairing it. So that's one thing that I point out on it. That is how he laid the pattern of hair down and wavy it looks. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, Terry, definitely. I don't know.
You don't mess with the hair.
It's. I don't think he'll ever tell, and I understand why. But then again, I've never said, Terry, how do you do it? But something tells me, ancient Chinese secret. So that's your Sandman. Yeah. Hey, could you bring it back closer towards you? No, the mask, like even. Yeah, there we go. Get that.
Yeah, very.
There
cool.
we go. Yeah. See it. Wow.
Blowing locks.
Wow. Look at the hair. The hair. I know that you probably would be. It's hard to see.
It's like when you get there. Yeah, because it's just a light. There we go. That's awesome.
Yeah, he did an amazing job as always. But it looks amazing, I think. And he kind of, I requested a few things and he did them, and they turned out great. Can you
bring it back? Because the light. There we go. It's just the lights bouncing on. There we go. I like yours. I like that better than my original one.
Yeah, I like the hair is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. Again, it doesn't do it justice on the camera.
Yeah, I understand.
It's just really wavy looking, and it looks pretty cool in person. So I always compliment him. I always tell him, hey, Terry, it looks amazing. It still does.
Do yourself a favor since you got them out. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to give it. You got it. How's it smell?
Baby powder.
In other words, for the people out there that don't own a Master and Terrier Warlock, there's just something about it. He adds a little extra.
He goes hard in it.
Yeah, and it's like, how could I describe it? It's like that one little thing that you can appreciate as a kid. It's for the
watching your videos when you opened up your Warlock and it was like you were like, oh my god. It's transferring that idea, like, damn, that must really smell good.
It did. In fact, I'm not going to do it because he's got his bust there. Those busts.
Yeah, thanks for that, Scott, by the way. It's Scott right here. Helped me with the bust.
It's just there's something about having a bust. It's fun. And what mask is that? The bright.
It is a Nag. I would have to look, gentlemen. It is a Nag 1875K new mold, special edition closet scene.
Okay. It's so funny. You almost well, it wasn't the closet with obviously what's playing in the background. When Tommy's looking out, it kind of looked like the closet, and you say closet scene.
I know my light's awfully really bright, but
I kind of had a feeling that was a Nick's because the hair.
yeah. And you'll remember who I got this from, I'm sure.
I always love the hair that Nick has. There's no doubt about it. There's something, his hair that he uses is so soft. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
And then speaking of nags, I've got one, which is the Nag Nightmare, I believe.
Okay.
Ooh. Is that the UL?
What were you asking, Chris?
I was wondering if that was you said it was a Nightmare. Is it the UL or?
Yeah, let me look.
UL?
Nag 18 Nightmare UL Special Edition.
Nice.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Did he finish that one as well?
Nick did. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's cool. Like Scott's mentioned about the hair. I mean, it's so great because you can change it all the time. You know, you want to poof it up. You want to do things different with it. That's one thing great about his hair.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best, and I feel like in the industry.
And to be perfectly fair, when you're paying a premium price for an Indies mask,
Right.
and I'm saying this out loud, not necessarily because you guys already know this, you're also getting quality hair. So
Right.
people that have never owned one, there's so much to it. It's the time, the labor, the art,
Oh my god.
and some of the quality too. It's like if you're going to buy a BMW, you're going to pay the price. It's the same thing with these masks, from the latex to the art, the time, and the hair. The hair's not
Right.
cheap.
And just within moments, you can style it however you want. That's what's
Yeah.
amazing with it.
I wanted to save something, the best for last for you guys and anybody out there that might be watching. I'm working on a Corey Cunningham mask.
No kid.
Opie Cunningham mask.
I'm scared. He's
Ta-da!
Oh no. Goodness sakes.
Yep. It don't look anything like the He movie. It's an Opie Cunningham mask.
I thought you were going to pull a scarecrow out.
Jealousy, I can understand.
What is that?
I have a spot open right there. Right there. See it?
What is that, Scott? Looks like a 4.
That is nightmare fuel. That's what that is. That's what you
Opie man.
name that nightmare fuel.
Look out, Opie Cunningham. Here I come.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's shit.
I mean, the side profile is killing me. His chin.
What about the ears, though? The ears.
I can't see the ears to get past the chin. Oh,
I
no.
should finish this. You know, I really should.
I keep this thing for pure nostalgia. Look at the hair on this thing.
Wow. That looks like it almost it tells me, it says, when's the last time
Why
you
does
washed
it
your
have
hair? I'm waiting for dandruff to start going everywhere.
Look at this thing. It's luscious. 2000 Dawn Post.
I would
Oh,
be I'm not kidding you. I'd strip that thing down and rehaul it.
but I would ruin
That's true. You would ruin it.
everything I got going here.
That's funny.
You know what? If I decided to put plugs in this balding head of mine, that's what it would look like. That's an emo Michael, right?
Oh Lord, I don't know what you want to call it.
Jealous.
I call it Keanu Reeves.
Oh my God.
It's a conversation piece.
Looks like an anime Michael Myers kind of.
Oh my God. Since we're kind of loosely on a topic, where are you guys putting it now, rank wise?
He?
Ins? Yeah.
Andrew,
Yeah.
where would you have that in your list? That's a good question.
Right there in the trash can with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Truthfully, honestly, I mean, I'm just being honest.
I appreciate your honesty. That's one thing about Halloween, and it's not a dictatorship.
Just my opinion on it. It just didn't keep with the lore of what and who Michael is. And granted, if you want to move it forward in a respectful way.
Absolutely. Chris, where do you rank it in your, was it 13 now? Was it 13 Halloween films?
I feel like now it's just a point where we just go bottom 3. That's just
1, 2, 3, 4.
Because the top
8, 9, 10. Yeah, 13. Sorry.
I feel like just the bottom 3 change. Pretty much the rest of them just stay the same. But I think I'm gonna go. Resurrection's still dead last for me. I think I'll put Ends there, and then I gotta give just H2 just because of the first 20 minutes. I actually enjoyed the first 20 minutes or so that he was in the hospital. The rest of the movie is trash, but yeah.
I will agree with Resurrection too. I mentioned that I would agree with that as well. I left that one out.
Resurrection, I was annoyed, like I think a lot of people. Today, I honestly think I could sit if I had to sit down and watch both of those. And I know this sounds so friggin' crazy. And I right now I'm telling myself, nah, I think you're wrong. But I think I would rather watch Resurrection than I would want to watch Ends. And I'm trying to ask myself why.
At least you have fun.
I'm questioning myself on that one.
You know, Resurrection, at least it's fun.
Ends just really pisses me off. It's not just what it's done for me, but what it's done for all the fans. It slapped us, that bitch slapped us and called us Susan in the face. I hear people, well, in a few years you're going to appreciate this film. Don't give me this season of witch bullshit. Okay, that is totally different than season what we got here. That was totally different. Totally different. It was. I've got something I'm about ready to say, but I'm not going to, because even as I try to mature, I would tell you guys privately, but I'm just trying to think of others. Nah, come on. There's some things you just got to not say. But
I really want to hear it.
Okay, it's like being promised something between you and your girlfriend, and she falls asleep on you before it happens. That's the cleanest version I can give you right now. And right now, as I say it, it just sounds like I'm being. Ends would be my bottom of the list. I watched Rob Zombies 2, even though right there. I honestly think Rob Zombie 2 is.
They're blue.
You know why? I know exactly why I would put that above it. Because my son, for some reason, likes it. I don't know why, but he does. The characters in it. I mean, okay, Rob Zombies 2, when we have Daniel Harris, where she gets killed. You brought it up, Chris. I mean, that scene there alone.
Oh.
Where he just breaks down. That was just, so amazing. Her father, what's his name again? I'm sorry, the actor's name.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too.
Oh my God, he was one of my favorites in One for the Cuckoo's Nest. Chucky's voice. I'll put the name up on the screen, like I always do. But that right there, that performance, just the way he breaks down when he sees his baby, where she's butchered.
Oh.
that made me feel like I was going to fall apart when I seen that.
And those pictures started flashing, like,
yeah,
that really, my throat was like clogged.
Yeah. One thing I'm going to give Rob Zombie credit on, something that I've never really thought about until now. Granted, James G. Courtney, loved him as Myers. I think we all have. Nothing to put James if he was sitting right here. But I want to give a little, Rob, the fact that you made Michael Myers this beast, this 6 foot, was Tyler, is it Tyler Maine?
Tyler Maine, yeah.
That's like saying, okay, here's Michael Myers. You want a beast, you got the beast. To me, that's like, yes.
Right.
So now I'm starting to give a little bit more credit to Rob Zombie stuff just for this little stuff.
Yeah.
Ends, sorry, what they did to us? Nah.
I know.
And of course, H1's always king to me, so. The rest.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like the last 3 just keep rotating for me. You know?
Yeah, I like 18 more now. I know what you mean.
Yeah, honestly, I would rather watch 1, 2, 4, and 5 than I would 1. Well, I mean, you can't count, but the new series, honestly. I'd rather watch the old ones, 2, 4, and 5, than I would the new series.
I don't know when this video will be out, but it'll be out. But I have a feeling, see, I already got enough editing to do I got a lot of editing to do this weekend, apparently. And to be honest with you, this isn't the first time I felt this way, but I'm thinking, I don't even know where to begin and end on this one, but I'll figure it out. I'll just try to, I'll cut all of my stuff out, leave your guys' in.
There you
We're
go.
all over the place.
Alrighty, so yes, we'll do it again. I'll try to, I don't know, maybe we could get a 4th person on here. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. And then, like I said, yeah, we'll do something with your tutorials as well too. Chris, so and I'm sorry. And yeah. Alrighty. No, I'll have 5 out before this is up, so I don't want to say them. All right, I'll see you guys soon, and we'll leave it at that.
All right.
With you guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no
Yeah,
problem.
thanks.
Thanks for joining at the last minute. And I'll need to stop recording now.